Something is shifting within the walls of NRG Stadium right now. You can feel the intensity rising as we enter this crucial phase of the offseason. For us real fans, the faithful who bleed deep steel blue, we know every roster spot matters in a Super Bowl window. This isn't just about the stars, it's about the foundation being built behind the scenes. Before we dive into the move that could redefine our depth, make sure to like and subscribe. We're chasing greatness together. This one decision might seem small to some, but it carries a much deeper weight tonight. The news just broke, and it feels like a homecoming story that nobody saw coming. The Houston Texans are reportedly hosting a tryout for quarterback Clayton Tune during this rookie minicamp. Now, for those of you who follow Houston football closely, that name carries a lot of weight. We're talking about a University of Houston legend, a guy who knows these streets and this atmosphere better than almost anyone. But here's the thing. This isn't just about nostalgia or bringing back a local hero for the sake of a feel-good story. There is a specific vision at play here. Tune has spent time with the Arizona Cardinals and most recently the Green Bay Packers, and now he's looking to carve out a place on this roster. And honestly, the connection that makes this truly electric is his history with Tank Dell. They spent 3 seasons together from 2020 to 2022, building the kind of chemistry that you just can't manufacture in a single training camp. Now this is where it gets interesting because we all know how explosive Tank is. Imagine having a guy in the quarterback room who already knows exactly how Tank moves, how he breaks off routes, and where he wants the ball. It creates this fascinating dynamic where a depth move suddenly feels like a strategic strike to maximize the weapons we already have. Some might say it's just a tryout, but in this building, under this leadership, every look matters. There is a sense of urgency to ensure that if anything happens, the machine keeps humming. We've seen what happens when teams aren't prepared deep down the depth chart. The Texans are operating differently now. They aren't just looking for bodies, they are looking for specific fits. Clayton Tune represents a fascinating what if for this team. He hasn't had the smoothest NFL journey so far, only getting a handful of starts and limited reps. But the raw talent that made him a standout at the University of Houston is still there. As he steps onto that field for the workout, the pressure is immense. He's fighting for a career, but he's also fighting to come home. It's the kind of story that reminds you why we love this game. It's about more than stats, it's about the right fit at the right time. When you look at the current state of the Texans quarterback room, it is easy to get comfortable. We know CJ Stroud is the franchise. We know Davis Mills has been a rock-solid professional in that secondary role. But this is where the concern starts to creep in for some fans. Behind those two, things get a little murky. And that is why this Clayton Tune situation is so vital. Last year, the team brought in Graham Mertz, a young guy with plenty of potential but absolutely zero NFL snaps under his belt. He spent the season as the emergency option, learning the system, but never being tested in the fire. Now the coaching staff has to ask themselves a very difficult question. Is Mertz truly ready if the unthinkable happens, or do they need a veteran who has actually stood under center in a regular season game? This is where the tension lies. Tune has 15 games of experience. He has seen NFL defenses. He has felt the speed of a real pass rush. Even if his stats haven't been mind-blowing, that experience is a currency that coaches value deeply. But there is a risk here too. Bringing in a guy like Tune to compete with Mertz could disrupt the developmental path they had planned for the younger quarterback. It creates a high-stakes environment during what should be a teaching period. You have to wonder what this does to the chemistry in that room. The third quarterback spot might seem irrelevant to the average observer, but in a season where we have Super Bowl aspirations, one play can change everything. We saw it across the league last year where teams losing their starters and watching their seasons vanish because the depth was not there. The Texans are clearly trying to avoid that nightmare. They are looking at Tune and seeing a guy who could potentially provide a higher floor than Mertz. It is about security. It is about knowing that every single player on that 53-man roster can contribute if called upon. This is not just a workout. It is a message to the rest of the team that no spot is safe and the pursuit of improvement never stops. The uncertainty of who will win this battle adds a layer of drama to the coming weeks. But this is where things change because we have to talk about the Tank Dell factor again. It is impossible to ignore how much influence a star receiver can have on the environment of a team. If Tank is in the building advocating for his former guy, it adds a layer of emotional momentum to this tryout that is hard to quantify. But the biggest question remains, can Clayton Tune actually play at the level this system requires? His last outing with the Packers was underwhelming, to say the least, completing less than half his passes in a relief appearance. That creates a massive amount of future tension. If he cannot perform under the bright lights of a tryout, then the nostalgia of his college days will not matter. The front office is being incredibly calculated here. They are weighing the history against the current reality. Because this could become something much bigger than a simple depth move. If Tune signs and pushes Mertz off the roster, It signals a shift in philosophy toward valuing immediate experience over long-term developmental projects. This is the reality of a Super Bowl window. You do not have time to wait for guys to grow if there is a better option available right now. The pressure on Tune during these 3 days is astronomical. He knows this might be his last real shot to stick in the league, especially with a team that has this much talent. And for the fans, the implications are just as heavy. We are watching a team that is finally being aggressive about the small details. We have spent years watching this roster have holes at the bottom of the depth chart, and now we are seeing a battle for the third-string quarterback that actually feels meaningful. It is a testament to how far this franchise has come under this leadership. Every move feels intentional. Every tryout feels like it has a purpose. We are no longer a team that just takes what is left over. We are a team that seeks out specific pieces to complete the puzzle. Whether it is Tune or Mertz, the winner of this battle is going to have to prove they can handle the weight of this jersey. The drama is building for backup roles. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this move actually makes a ton of sense to me, but it also worries me a little bit. On one hand, I really like the idea of bringing Clayton Tune back to the city where he became a star. There is a certain energy that comes with a player returning to his roots, and we know he has that built-in rapport with Tank Dell. That is not something you just ignore. It could be incredible for the locker room morale and provide a spark in practice. But I think fans should pay attention to the potential downside here. We are talking about a guy who has struggled to find his footing in 2 different systems already. Is he really an upgrade over Graham Mertz, or are we just blinded by the University of Houston connection? I have seen this happen before where teams get sentimental, and it ends up costing them a more talented developmental piece. This could become a problem if we let go of a guy like Mertz, who the coaching staff originally liked, just for a temporary fix. However, I am leaning toward being optimistic. This staff has not given us many reasons to doubt them lately. If they see something in Tune that can help this team, I am all for it. It feels like the Texans are finally operating like a big market, high expectation franchise. They are exploring every single avenue to get better, even if it is just the third quarterback. They want the absolute best guy for that role. It shows a level of detail that we have not seen in Houston for a long time. I love the competitiveness it brings to the roster. It forces everyone to step up their game. If Mertz wants to keep his job, he has to outwork a veteran who knows this city and has a connection with one of our best players. That kind of internal pressure is how great teams are built. It is how you weed out the guys who are not ready for the big stage. I am fascinated to see how this workout goes, because it tells us a lot about what the front office thinks of the depth. It is a message that nobody is guaranteed. As we look toward the next few days, the atmosphere around the Texans facility is undeniably electric. The story of Clayton Tune isn't just about a tryout. It's about a franchise that refuses to settle for good enough. It's about a team that is constantly searching for that extra 1% that could be the difference between a playoff exit and a championship run. Whether Tune officially signs or not, the fact that we are even having this conversation shows how much the culture has shifted. We are a destination now. We are a team that players want to be a part of. And we are a team that is smart enough to leverage existing chemistry. But the story is far from over. There are still so many questions about how this roster will finally shake out before training camp. Will the local hero make his triumphant return, or will the young incumbent hold his ground? The future is uncertain, and that's exactly what makes this offseason so captivating. I want to hear from you, the real fans. Do you think bringing in Clayton Tune is the right move for our depth, or should we stick with the youth of Graham Mertz? Does that connection with Tank Dell actually matter to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to stay locked in on everything Houston Texans. We are on this journey together. Go Texans fans.